What is up, YouTube? ODST General back again in Stormworks. So obviously, just based off the thumbnail and the title of this video, you guys will already know that this is about trains, the newest expansion to Stormworks. So these trains are kind of a pain in the butt a little bit, but I'll talk more about that in just a minute here. First, I want to welcome Alana Mabel, Just Tasix, Justin Phillips, Max Monito, and several other people to the channel. There was actually quite a few subscribers who have come to the channel since my last video. I'm trying really hard to remember to do this, and I'm also trying to fight with a cat who really wants to be up on this desk while I'm recording. So anyways, sorry guys if I get distracted, that's what I'm trying to deal with. So these trains, like I said, this is a pretty awesome expansion as far as my personal excitement for it goes. But having played it some, there's a lot of issues that I have with it currently. Things I think will be improved with bug fixing and stuff like that. The first is that there's really not any point to the trains at this moment, like not outside of like user-created missions. There is no official missions that I could see when I was looking through the list that would end up like supporting the trains or the use of them. Because, so basically you just go here and you're just going back and forth on a long track with a bunch of different trains and stuff, and there's no point to it. Outside of that, there's also issues with like the switching lanes and stuff here, whatever you call it, switching rails. Because sometimes as you come up to a switch here, the trains like to bug out and they'll get like stuck, and they have a hard time getting over these. The reason that this one's not further back is because I actually had this hooked up to a different train and a different flatbed car originally. And I had it hooked up to a similar model to this one, a little bit different, but pretty close to that style of diesel engine. And I was trying to back it up down this one so I could have them all closer to the houses, and it got to the switch and the diesel just could not get over the switch. This one actually made it over the switch, but in the process it's damaged its wheels here and it can't move any further. And you can actually see that both of these have taken some damages. They've hooked up okay and the hooks aren't damaged, so that these are probably mostly operational, although I think that the winch and stuff on the crane's probably done for. So I mean, yeah, the process of trying to get these things moved around and stuff is a pretty big hassle. The other thing I take issue with is just spawning the trains in is very time consuming when you're by yourself, so this is almost something I suggest that if you're going to be doing like with the trains and stuff, I almost suggest doing it with another person involved, somebody to help you spawn stuff in, so like one of you can basically get in a train and like hook it up to like move stuff while the other person spawns stuff in. Work together so that you're not having to like get out of the train, run back over here, go back, and either pull the car to the train or go back to the train, back up, get the car, pull forward, so on and so forth. So it's a huge hassle. But with that being said, like I said, I am still excited for this. I do love, I'm a big person for trains, and there's already a ton of different trains and stuff. So we've got, just as you can see, we've got 3 trains here. We've got diesel engine, this Canadian National, which I just figured out how to use like just a couple minutes before starting this video here, and I am thrilled about it because this thing is, one, Canadian National's is one of the companies that used to like go by where I used to live all the time, and then 2, it's a high quality diesel engine. As far as all the diesels in this goes, this might be one of the best made ones as far as like features and functionality. I've got this ZNR one, which is like a smaller style diesel engine. This thing's okay, I guess. I mean, it's still got like reverse functions and it's got the hookups and everything. My biggest issue with that one is that it tends to go a little too fast. It's a little hard to control, and then there's also not any seats in it, so it's a little bit hard to kind of judge your distance or get in a third person like you can with all these other ones. And then I've got a steam engine up there, which I'm not sure what type of steam engine that is, but that one's pretty cool too. That one's got a bit of a feature that I've seen a couple others, and I actually like the others' designs a little bit better, but that one is more functional because it has a reverse. And unfortunately, not everybody puts a reverse on their trains, which is really unfortunate given the fact that Well, there's no turntables or anything, so basically when you get to the other side, you can basically go straight and you can go to the other station, but when you get there, you're going to have to like respawn the train to get turned around. Oh, it's for lights. Okay, so let's go ahead and check out the workshop here real quick. Here, the what I've downloaded from the workshop for the trains here. So these are a little bit out of order. Some people have updated their stuff, but so we've got the ES44AC. This was my most commonly used one. So some of these I haven't used. Most of them are advanced mode only at this point. There is a few non-advanced modes like this Roco 36726. You've got things like this, which is basically it's just a stripped down body for like a starter kit for people to make a really basic train. This one's running off of aircraft engines as opposed to diesel like most of the other trains are. Most of these do end up having like diesel engines inside of them, and they're super complex, as you guys can see. Yeah, just to give you an idea of the kind of work that people have been putting in on these trains. And like this is, I don't think I've used this one, this particular Union Pacific one. Maybe I have. I think, yeah, maybe this is one of the better ones that I liked too, was this Union Pacific model. I'm not sure if it's this one or not. Yeah, there's a few Union Pacific trains. And I haven't used all of these because I've been downloading stuff and trying to get this to work for this video, and it's just been a pretty big hassle. But yeah, there is pretty good variety as far as these goes. Like this thing's an electric one, which is it's kind of an interesting one. It handles a lot differently than any other train, so it's a little bit weird to get used to it, but it's kind of fun for that fact. We've got flatbed cars. We've got a bunch of different cars. I haven't downloaded a whole lot of cars. I do have a couple passenger cars and stuff. I really like the ones I'm gonna show off to you guys for the steam engines. This is kind of cool though. Somebody figured out basically how to get like the larger wheels and like the actual like hydraulic pumps or whatever that you see on the wheels. I'm not sure what the actual naming for this is, but it's really neat just watching these things go. This is actually one of the ones I was talking about where I like the design a little bit better than the other train. Just for the coloring and the fact that it comes with like a tender car automatically. But this one doesn't seem to have any sort of reverse functionality, so that kind of shut it off for the sake of the video and getting everything set to go. Like I said, I could have pulled up the cars myself, and in some cases I did, but it was just a really big hassle to do that. You've even got a couple Thomas the Tank engines, or Thomas the Train, whatever you want to call them. Those are up, so that's kind of neat. You've got all sorts of stuff. Steam engines, you've got diesel, you've got hybrids, a couple of trolley-like things, I'm not really sure. Got some older style diesels here, the Santa Fe units. So, really cool stuff here. I think this is actually like a tender equivalent for the Santa Fe. Yeah, that's like just basically a giant engine in the back there. So let's go ahead, let's get into it. I don't know if we're going to be showing off any functionality here for the most part. I mean, we'll be showing functionality of the train itself, but like I said, outside of that, there isn't a whole lot of necessarily use for these trains. I think what we'll do is we're going to just ride up and we're going to maybe hitch the Canadian National to the steam engine, possibly. I don't know if that's going to have any weird effects on it. I've noticed that there can be some weird power effects that can happen, like when you hook a train up to the cars, as far as like where power's coming and going from. So not exactly sure what to expect when I do this. So let's pick our throttle up just a little bit. And we'll drop our brakes just a bit. So most of these brakes and stuff, and some of them work by just pressing a button and just the brakes on. The ones I really like, though, are the ones that work more like a normal train, where you can apply power to the brakes through like a throttle, and it increases the power of the brakes the closer you get there. But you can go like with half braking, which will slow down the train, but it won't like completely bring it to a stop. Oh boy, that took a lot more damage than I realized on that side there. That's weird. I don't know why I took damage up there. So I believe this one, some of these you have to turn the switches and stuff on, but I think this one's just ready to go as is. Turn our warning bells and stuff on here. So we're going to turn our brake off. We are going to turn our throttle off. And we're going to go ahead and head up through these cars here. Oh, that actually works really nice on that diesel going to this. So these are more like old style passenger cars. So I think this one's like a mailroom car. This is pretty neat. This one actually has some functionality if they ever put in like shipping stuff, but it's going to be kind of unusual to use, I think. So you're able to slide these doors open, and then you can extend the arm. Oh, I don't want to do arm extension. I want to do, oh yeah, arm extension. That is the one I want to do. You're able to swing the arm out and then extend it out and then turn a connector on. So, I mean, that one's got some functionality to it. You gotta be a little bit careful about having that door opened or closed. But that one's pretty neat, and it matches these other cars up here too. You have to be a little bit careful with these. Well, it's pretty easy to switch from that diesel to that first car. The jump for these is a little bit bigger, a little bit shadier for sure. So this is one of the passenger cars. And, you know, it's pretty straightforward, just a bunch of chairs. And then I think the next one, I think that first one was mailroom. It could be the storage car, I'm not really sure. Then we've got another car. It looks like a passenger car, but it's got a little storage area in the back. And that one's also got sliding doors. And those do operate together just like the other car. So then coming up to the front here, we do have our steam engine here. So we're going to go ahead and grab the ladder and get up on this bad boy. We're going to click these side rails into place. So this one does have seats. So this one's pretty neat. I mean, like I said, I like the other one better for its color scheme and stuff. And I don't know if this one comes with a tender. I don't have a tender on here right now. I didn't see one in the workshop, but I very easily could have missed it with all the stuff that's been coming out. So, you know, we've got our trains and stuff hooked up here. I'm not sure what to expect with how that's on there now. So, this one, we've got a few things going on. Let's bring our clutch down. We've got that. Let's turn the starter off for a second. So I've got plenty of fuel left. That's not going to be a problem. Let's take our brakes down a good bit. Start pumping some steam into this thing. I'm not exactly sure if I'm doing this in the proper order. Now it looks like we're moving there, so let's go ahead. We got our clutch going here. So it's moving, but the engine seems to have actually shut off here, so we'll try and get it going. This one does seem to struggle with moving. I don't know if that's an issue with these wheels here, because obviously these wheels aren't, well, they're not round, and they're not actually designed with the tracks in mind. Only these smaller diesel type wheels are, like the hydraulic ones or whatever they are. The big style wheels, as cool as they are, they actually are just there for looks. So this thing's not going very fast, but it does seem to have a slow pickup. So and now we've got that diesel engine in the back. So we might want to actually go back there and try to turn that diesel on to get this thing going a little bit quicker. Because I'm just putting extra added weight on this thing. But I'm kind of curious how well this thing will handle it. Once it got going, it was handling these cars pretty well, at least. The cars are probably a lot lighter than that diesel engine in the back there, though, I would imagine, with all the extra engines and stuff it has in there. I think I can. We do have, oh yeah, we do have the brakes on. Let's turn the brakes off the whole way too. That would probably help some. I forgot all about that. Our rotations per second's really low. It's only like 1.54. It was 1.55, so it's even dropping. Temperature's looking good. We have no tender, so there's no tender fuel, but there's fuel in this thing automatically. I'm not sure what this is. I'm guessing that's probably supposed to be the speed of the train, just based off of how those numbers are climbing and falling. It seems to slowly be getting a little bit faster here. Starting to slowly pick up, but just barely. Let's see here. If I hold on the starter, it should pump a little bit of extra fuel in. Maybe we can get this thing to actually pick up properly. Thinking though we might have to run back and turn on our diesel here too. Okay, yeah, let's run back. Actually, you know what? This thing's probably moving slow enough. I can just do this. Yeah. I forgot to turn off the warning lights anyway, so I guess that's appropriate. Okay, so let's head back in here. This thing's got some power to it. Let's turn those off. Let's put our throttle up. If our brakes seem to be going off, but the brakes aren't on, so I don't know why that's happening. Battery's looking pretty good. Fuel's very easily good. Yeah, these things, because of their size, they do hold a ton of fluids and stuff, so that actually works out really well. A lot more than the boats seem to conveniently hold. I think that's the brakes. I'm not really sure if that's the brakes or if that's being caused by something else. I'm not sure what causes that. I would think it's the brakes, but I know for a fact that brakes aren't on this thing or the other one, and that those cars have no brakes. So, not really sure why that's happening. We are starting to pick up speed though. Let's see what our speed is. About 30 miles an hour. Trying to climb, but it looks like it's just kind of staying pretty consistent. Give me 1 second, guys. Cat sitting down there playing with wiring that I don't trust him around. Okay, come on, train, you can do it. This might be a long trip otherwise. Might want to potentially consider disconnecting this thing. It's at full throttle. It's giving its full power here. Might be picking up speed. It's sitting a little bit higher on average than it was when I looked a second ago. It was sitting like 31 to 28, so now it's sitting like 35 to 29 on average, 30 even. So, and it's trying to get up there. It seems to slowly be picking up. I just don't know why it's acting like it has brakes on the diesel and not any of the others here. Okay, Cat, come on. Stop that, Cat. Okay, come on, Cat. Nope. Sorry, guys. Let's take a look at that speed again. Yeah, I don't know. It's starting to creep a little bit higher, just barely. We are making a little bit of progress. Yeah, I actually recorded this video and it bugged out. I uploaded it and everything, but I haven't actually released it or done anything with it yet. And I wasn't really happy. I was kind of out of it trying to get stuff to work, and so I wasn't talking very much. And just like, yeah, I was going along this path here, and you could see on the map there was supposed to be stuff there, but the bridge had just like disappeared, and like the train was floating. I got out of the train and like fell to the ground. I couldn't reload the mission after that. The mission just crashed, and yeah, so it was a mess. You know what, Cat, if you're going to keep trying to go under there, I'm going to keep pulling you out. I'm just going to pin your head to the side of this until you decide you don't want to be there anymore. Thank you. Okay. Don't go to the other side, I know you. Alright, so yeah, I don't know why this is doing this. There's no brakes on this thing. Independent brakes, so that's... I turned the brakes on and it's... Okay, so now it's recognizing the brakes as being on. That's weird. I don't know why it's doing that. It's acting like the brakes are on. Or like it's pulling these with brakes. I don't know. Should we... I don't know if we should try disconnecting this. Let me... Oh yeah, this thing goes a lot faster than the steam engine's going. Oh boy, okay. Hmm. So I'm not sure what's going on here. It looks like the steam engine quit out on us. Well, farting around with the diesel back there, so maybe that's part where the issue came from. I haven't been watching it very closely, but okay. So let's do this. So I've had some issues with the steam engine trying to get it set up. Usually it seems to have fixed itself if I shut everything off and throw it into basically a full restart. So we're going to shut down all of this stuff. We're going to shut down our steam. We're going to shut off all of our switches. And we're going to just start it up from the beginning here. We're going to leave the brakes off though, just to try and get a little bit of extra speed. We're going to turn that off too, just to get those open in case I need to dismount the train for some reason. Okay, so fuel pump's on, steam valve's on. Throttle is up. Steam is up. Actually, clutch I should leave down. Brakes aren't on, but we're not moving. This is an issue. So yeah, this kind of shows you guys what I was talking about with like issues as far as how this thing's going here, and like part of that might just be like my lack of knowledge on the proper startup for this train, but I don't think it is. I mean, you guys could see kind of some of the same stuff I was watching here, and you know, I can see the RPS, the rotations per second are dropping on this thing pretty steadily now. Okay, let's drop this all again. Let's try this one more time. Turn the brakes on. Didn't have them on last time, but we'll try it again with them on. Fuel pump is off. Lights, we'll turn those off. We don't really need the lights. Okay. So, boom. I'm going to put throttle up to full. Steam is up to full. Rotations per second seem to be holding steady. Okay. Could be that I was having issues because this thing didn't want to move forward anymore. I'm not sure what's going on here. If I bring my clutch up, in theory it should go faster. The rotations per second on the engine drop, which wouldn't be such a big deal if this thing was going. Oh, there it goes. Okay. So yeah, we're gonna leave the diesel behind. We'll see if maybe this thing works better under its own power. I'm not sure. But yeah, as you can see, anyways, now that we're back underway and we're starting to actually go, there we go. Yeah, look at that. See, that's what this thing should look like when it's actually going semi-properly. It should pick up more speed, I suspect. I haven't actually tried this thing out full speed yet, but I think I've gotten it a little bit faster in this at the very least. But anyways, as you can see, there's this is basically set primed for multiplayer. So just like, you know, regular missions and stuff, or the regular game, these train tracks are set on a seed, and they're procedurally generated on the map, and so that's why these on the map, these are all split into different sections as far as the train tracks go, and there's splits in the rails when there's obviously not, as we've ridden over some of that terrain already. But basically you can have like any sort of layouts for these. My first time checking out the train, all I basically had was I had this chemical storage place like right here, and then like the end of the train tracks was like right here. So in this one I haven't even fully explored it yet, but basically you can see I've got the lighthouse, I've got the chemical storage, I've got another island, and the tracks seem to keep going after that. So there's a lot of potential stuff to do with these, with like user generated missions at least. The other thing is that there's two sets of tracks, so you can play this multiplayer. So, I mean, like I said, just even setting up one train, you're probably going to want multiple people, like one guy working the yard and one guy actually working the train. Or maybe one guy, like, getting all the stuff set up on the yard before joining you on the train. But if you have, like, you know, a group of people, too, you can easily be running multiple trains at one time. The other thing is, too, is that with this, they actually gave us the first proper use for vehicles, which is why I've seen probably a big uptake in vehicles here all of a sudden too with this train DLC, is you actually have like a proper road. You know, you didn't really have use for that before, because I mean you had like air bases and stuff, and I mean there was a little bit of use for vehicles. You know, if like say you had to do like a firefighting mission or something, you could like use a fire truck, or you could use a cargo vehicle, or you know, certain like tugs and stuff like that, you know, for like pulling planes and stuff out. But as far as, you know, like cars and stuff go, and like real true use of them, you haven't really been able to do that. But we've got this big old vehicle bridge that runs the entire length of these train tracks along with us here. So that makes vehicles a lot more viable as an option too. And, you know, with the vehicles, they're probably a little bit quicker to get set up and get going than the trains are, but at least with the trains are pretty quick, and like I said, they hold a ton of fuel and stuff. I don't know how well a car would do fuel-wise trying to get along this entire stretch of track and stuff. I don't know if it would burn through that fuel like nothing, or if it would be okay doing that. Let's see. So, is this? I think this was our speed gauge. So yeah, we're going a little bit quicker. We're going about 10 miles quicker than we were with the diesel engine attached, so that's good. I mean, it's ideally we could be going faster. If I had hooked this up to a different diesel engine and was just running that, it probably would be going quicker. But you know, just being on the advanced mode with like the smoke coming out and stuff, this just looks so appropriate. It really does. You know, especially with like like I said, the hydraulic arms for the wheels and stuff there just looks really cool. Yeah, so I don't know, guys. While we're kind of exploring here, we'll go a little bit longer. I kind of want to see the end of these tracks before the end of the video, but I want to know what your guys' thoughts are on this DLC, if you've played it, or the expansion, I should say. Have you played this expansion at all, guys? If you have, what's your thoughts on it? Or just based off watching this video, what do you guys think of it? Do you think it could use improvement? Do you think it's pretty good as is? What sort of missions are you hoping to do with it? All that stuff. Let me know in the comments below, guys, because I'd appreciate to know that. So it looks like we're coming up on the third island, one I haven't actually been to yet, and then it's revealed. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that could do that. So we've got another stretch of island, and then it splits off, and the road goes off to the side here, and then our track's gone to, like, it looks like the mainland here coming up, potentially. It's kind of hard to say for sure, but that's going to be pretty interesting to see. So what's this? This looks like it's just like a little lone house and like a little beach that they have there. Pretty nice area. Sure they'd probably like living there for the most part until they have an emergency of some kind. It's kind of crazy to think like this infrastructure is like massive train tracks. The cost of this, and like they can't be getting that much money off of these like trains and stuff here. There's like one person who like lives out in the middle of nowhere, like miles upon miles of bridge, just on this little tiny island. And they've got like a road for basically that person. Okay, well let's keep going here at least as fast as we can. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty neat. I hope that there's gonna be a little bit more land-based tracks here. I'm not sure if there is any. Like as we come up to this main island looking area, it looks like there might be some a little bit closer to the land. I'm not sure. Like I said, I haven't been on here as far as this island. The last seed I was on, the tracks ended basically after an island as far as like getting to the end of the tracks. I don't know where these end, but just based off of the look of this island might extend another tile or two, but I suspect that the train tracks maybe end right along in here. It's hard to tell because you see the outline going here and then you don't see it end, and it could just be going along this ridge line here, because obviously you've got your height map with all these different lines, and so it could just easily still continue to go along this path. Oh, you guys can't see my mouse, I guess. I forget that, but oh, is my mouse showing up? Yeah, I guess it is because it's in game, isn't it? I have my mouse cursor tracking off usually, so I forget. Sometimes you guys can see it, sometimes you can't. But yeah, anyways, you know, it could stop there because there's a dock there and stuff. That should actually be a pretty good stop. So maybe we'll stop there. Maybe we'll keep going. We'll see what happens when we get there. We got a tunnel. That's pretty neat. And I've overridden weather too. So let's actually, you know, let's do this. Let's do this. Let's turn on the lights. So pretty cool looking. The lights on these things aren't super duper powerful like they do seem to be on the boats. They don't go very far, but they are still very useful, at least in regards to the cabin. Might not help you see a whole lot more out in front of you, I don't know, but pretty neat. And then after we get out of this and we see the outside at night, we'll go ahead and we'll check out the like storm or something here too along these bridges, because that can be kind of cool too. I haven't tried a tsunami with the trains yet, though. That should be pretty terrifying. I know they made some updates to the tsunami too, and I haven't checked it out at all since then because I've been so busy trying to get this video to work for the trains. Long tunnel there, that's for sure. Coming out of it here in just a minute. So the island does end there, so I'm guessing the train tracks are probably going to end here on the island. I don't really foresee them looping around at any point. I actually don't know if I've ever been on this island to properly explore it yet. I play a lot of Stormworks, but I tend to do a lot of the creative mode, so I usually just go to like one of a couple bases. And so I haven't really explored a whole lot of this map. There's actually quite a few things to explore, especially if you're in like a not creative mode, but like an actual like one of the survival modes, or just, you know, the career mode, because you can find like boxes hidden both in the water but like on the islands and stuff too. And so there's actually, you know, benefits to you to try and hunt that stuff down. So let's pump up the wind and rain and not fog. Let's see what this looks like storming here. So it's actually feels kind of intimidating, almost in a way more so than the boat to me. Because even though it's definitely a lot safer, you're quite high above the water. It just feels like you're so exposed up here on these train tracks. Like it's without a doubt safer than the water, but yeah, like I don't know, just like I said, without like any sort of cover and stuff, I don't know, it just feels like these waves could take you so easily. And at least like a boat, you know, if the waves like hit you, you're still in the water where you started off at. With this train, if these waves were to hit you somehow, well, you didn't start off in the water, but you might end up there. Getting our mail to the mainland here, so it looks like it does actually keep going there. That little, what I thought was a base, is actually that little village, I guess, where occasionally you have to pick up some people for a mission. I think that's the same one. There's a little bit of a dock there at the end. That might be a different one, probably actually, because there's train tracks going to it. Yeah, so I guess the big lesson here, guys, is go with the fastest trains, because the steam engines, sometimes they kind of struggle. I don't know. Some of the steam engines are actually really powerful too, though. It is kind of hit and miss as far as power that these have on them. From, you know, like mod to mod and stuff, and it's just basically, I guess, how people design it. I think that these big wheels on here with the hydraulic pump actually slows these things down, makes it struggle a little bit more. So it's basically trying to drag something against the ground that I don't know if it should necessarily be getting dragged against the ground, especially because these things aren't round. I don't know if they're like octagonal or what, but yeah, it's not really designed for that. A little bit of an incline here, it looks like. Maybe. Can't really tell if that's an incline or not. It looks like it might be. It's hard to say. I'm just worried if it is an incline, we're going to start losing speed. Well, we don't seem to be, so we're still doing good. Let's actually switch over to this seat. It's a little bit easier to read that speed monitor. Yeah, some big waves against the coast, or coast there, but yeah, pretty neat. So I don't know, like I said, guys, I do enjoy this. I think it's neat. I like the trains that have been made so far for the most part. Besides a couple functionality things, but like the overall expansion itself right now, I would have liked to have seen a little bit more mission support or something for it. I think that would have been nice. I don't know, I guess we're gonna keep going here. We got another tunnel coming up. Head in there and I guess keep going and see what else there is. I don't know where this. Okay, so there's a terminal right there. So this actually links around here. It's got to follow this track here, and then there are other terminals right here. So I guess we're going to go there. And it looks like there's a harbor or an airport or something here. That's a hangar kind of out in the middle, so it's probably an airport, not a harbor. Yeah, I don't know. It'd be really nice if there was a harbor here. But yeah, this is a pretty decent stretch here, because there's, like I said, at least if once either they put in missions or something, or you know, fans start making missions, there's gonna be a lot of potential for this. Let's go ahead and turn off that storm here. It's starting to get kind of loud, especially, and oddly enough, now that we're in the tunnel. So yeah, we've like I said, no cargo though, no people, no cargo that we are transporting, but the potential definitely is there for that in the future. For right now, I think it's mostly just people doing, you know, kind of interesting things. I've already created my first mod for this, which is pretty basic, but I created a firefighting train. Yeah, they've got this all up on like a suspension. It's pretty interesting. It looks like he's got weight so it drops back down, but it's like on a piston or something to allow it to bounce back up when it tries to like go over the wheels and stuff there, so it doesn't get stuck or something. So a bit of over-engineering required to get this to look true and proper, but it, you know, if it's what you gotta do, it's what you gotta do to get something like this. Hopefully they'll actually put like hydraulic wheels like these in, but I don't necessarily know if they're gonna be able to do something like that. I guess there's nothing that could stop the actual like developers from doing that. And you know, given how popular steam engines are, that and just, you know, a lot of the fact that like Stormworks has like a lot of the costumes and stuff look like they're stuff that you'd expect to see in like the 20s, 30s, you know, maybe even 40s. That, you know, given the airs of certain things, you know, popular of like lighthouses and things of that nature, I think that we might see a lot of stuff that would go towards a steam engine. You know, maybe even like a proper like coal-driven steam engine somehow might happen one day. The developers are very attentive to their fans when it comes to Stormworks. A lot of fan requests and stuff tend to get filled, and I think I've said this before on a video I've released, I can't remember, but you know, I've played this and there's been a couple of points where I think, oh, you know, this game could really use this or that, and then like the next day, you know, they come out with their Wednesday update and it's exactly the thing I was thinking, like, yeah, this could use this in the update. And so it's just, they are very on top of that sort of thing. So I don't know. I think we'll see more steam engine stuff. Can see the switchboards up ahead. So we are almost to the terminal, guys, and we are almost to the end of the video here. Just a tad bit longer here, and we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Try and do it without crashing this train. I think the brakes on this thing are pretty good. Just getting going's a big hassle. Yeah, I don't know. We've only got 3 cars, so we don't even have that big of a car load, or whatever you want to call it. Not much. So this is where we might start running into issues here, potentially, is going over these switches. So I'm going to keep it full speed until after we are over the last switch. It looks like it's going to put us over to the side one. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to start applying our brakes. Cut down our steam. Take off the clutch. We've come to a stop, so we're just going to shut everything down. Make sure this is not going to go crashing on us as soon as we get off. Cat knocking stuff off of the mirror behind me. Turn our fuel pump and steam valves off. We are good to go. Okay, so our cargo has arrived safely, or lack thereof. Our cars, I guess. We're going to pick up some stuff here, maybe. I don't know. So we've got this here. Terminal. There isn't much to do at these terminals, but this one is nicely placed. It is adjacent. And as it turns out, that is actually a dock that is right next to you. I saw that building, I assumed that building was a hangar or something just looking on the map, but this is actually a dock. So this potentially works very perfectly, because say you come here and you buy this base. I don't know if you get that terminal as part of it, if you have to purchase the terminal separately. But you get the terminal. Now you purchase this base, you can come here if you start getting like fuel lines and stuff going. You get yourself some cistern cars, and you transport your fuel up here, get a fuel truck or something just to bring it up the hill, and you got yourself a nice little economy going. A little bit of a boat and trailer there. I wonder if there's any boat trailers. I don't think I've seen any. I don't know. Let's go ahead and head back up here real quick. There's just a couple things I wanted to show off to you guys still. So I did actually, like I said, so I did start working on some stuff here myself. I haven't actually created a diesel just because they are pretty complex, and I haven't had the time or energy to put in for a project like that. Especially when what I've made it will work with other diesels and stuff like that. So I've made two things. The first is a cistern, which, since this is designed for firefighting, this thing actually carries water. This is actually based off of somebody else's work for the actual placement of stuff in the bottom there. I don't know why that's spawned in like that. That's a first. But we've got this, and like I said, for the actual use of the hitches. Oh gosh, that's not good. Stop that. Stop that. Respawn that and see if that fixes it. I don't know. They've had some updates and it's bumping off, so I don't know if that's why that's happening. It could be because of the hose line here, but yeah. So you've got this, and it's a fluid transfer, so you can transfer water to other sources from the car, and it's on the bottom for easy access. But you can get up to the top here, and there's actually another fluid connector up on the top too, so you can access it from up there too if you needed to for some reason, like if you have like a helicopter or something. So I just recently found out that these are actually like a thing. I looked it up because I was like, I wonder if that's actually a thing they have. And they do actually have trains designed for fighting essentially wildfires and stuff. They're usually privately held by train companies, at least here in the U.S. I think, was it Sweden or somebody had like several official ones that were way more advanced than what we do. But some of them have like monitors and stuff up on the top, kind of like this does. So if I go back around the other side, I've got a number of switches. So I've got valves for the hose, which is actually for the fluid connector, and a pump for that. And then I've got controls for that. And I've got brakes, which actually don't seem to work. I haven't been able to get them to work properly. Oh hey, did it realign? It realigned. Cool. And then I've got monitor controls here with the pump for the monitor. It is a little bit limited in the directions it can go, but that's just the design of the monitor itself. And this thing has a ton of water. I've got a gauge here, and you can see the water levels for this thing are just like crazy high. And so I've got that one, and then the other one I've actually created, and I haven't released this one in the workshop yet because it's not been really completed. I want to do some more with it. I just don't know exactly what. Is I've created a caboose for firefighting stuff. So this one actually has got 3 medical beds. It's got 6 firefighting outfits ready to go. and then it's got another couple beds up there. So I know there's only 5 beds and there's 6 outfits. Don't ask, guys. I ran out of room for the beds, I guess. I could sneak another one there, but you really need that spot to get up here, so I don't know, I guess I could put one there too even. But yeah, so it's I like to think that's fairly functional in the way it's been designed. I just don't know exactly what I want to do with the rest of this, because I want to have handheld hose lines maybe coming off of this. I haven't decided yet. It definitely repaint it, because I'm not super thrilled with the paint job that I've got on there currently, but maybe do some handheld hose lines that can come off of there, extend, and then like be able to hook this up to that cistern. I can't remember if I put a water connection on this. I don't think I have. But I think maybe if I do that, I'll have a hookup that goes directly from there to like a pump to the hose lines. So that way this thing has to be hooked up to a cistern, but it will operate once it's hooked up to one. Let me know what you guys think of that. How would you want to implement that if this was your guys' design? I was kind of debating putting something on the bottom there where the hose lines come out from the bottom of the cart, but I was also just thinking maybe doing something similar to those mail cars where the side door slides open, or maybe even something on the back here near the hitch or something where you have a hose line just basically ready to go sitting here, maybe on one of the sides of this too. I'm not sure. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on that too. I'd appreciate to know that, guys. And we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. A longer video for sure, but I really enjoyed this, and you know, I had fun with the ride here. I will see you guys whenever the next video comes out, and once again, welcome to the new subscribers.